So I'm watching a video on ESPN where Terrence Crawford talks about how Manny Pacquiao has been ducking him and has ducked out the fight and how he ain't want no parts of him. And in the end, they put up this right here. You know? And I looked at it and I said to myself, I'm like, that's strange. Because as you can tell, when it comes to Vasily Lomachenko, have you noticed that ESPN has totally erased the loss off his record? Matter of fact, they moved it to a draw, it looks like. They decided it was a draw. So they erased his loss and they made it as a draw. You know, and this is the problem when it comes to Vasily Lomachenko and people coming to me talking about pound for pound number one. The number one primary reason why they're always going to have a problem with me in that area is because of stuff like this. Okay, they keep telling you that he's number one instead of listening to the consensus of the people. Everybody know if you're not going to throw Canelo in the mix, then it's Terrence Crawford, period. You know what I'm saying? If you is going to throw Canelo, then okay, Canelo, and it's totally understandable. But other than that, it's Terrence Crawford. Straight out the gate, it's Terrence Crawford, and everybody know that, but they keep trying to tell you he's number one when it comes to Terrence Crawford. Oh, he could be possibly number one or number two. But when they bring up Vasily Lomachenko, they tell you he's number one. You notice that? They tell you he's number one with Vasily Lomachenko. When they say Terrence Crawford, he's possibly number one or number two pound for pound. You know, and that's the propaganda and that's the bullshit that people's talking about. And that's always a problem when it comes with me and talking about Vasily Lomachenko, because it seems to be they want to force Vasily Lomachenko down your throat as the number one pound for pound fighter and just being a better fighter than what he actually really is. And that's always the problem with me, you know? So since I know that they're pushing that kind of narrative and that kind of propaganda, I'm always going to bump heads with that. You know what I'm saying? I'm always going to have a problem with it, the established order in that manner when it comes to stuff like that, period. You know, but when people say this guy getting special treatment, I'm going to put it like this right before I end it, okay? It's stuff like this that you see on your screen with them erasing his record. And then when you turn and you look at the whole franchise champion situation, it totally makes sense that there's some kind of protection thing going on here. You know what I'm saying? It's obvious, okay? Don't want him to have a loss, you know. Don't want him to have to fight any mandatories all of a sudden and all this stuff. It's obvious now, okay? Where there's smoke, there's fire, and it is what it is, okay? Because you can't deny that. And the fact that ESPN just went ahead and do that tell how, when have they, who and what boxer have they ever done that for? Okay, and the tricky thing about the whole situation is, I don't even see why. Lomachenko's not even a draw. He don't even bring in money like that. And that's the odd thing about Lomachenko. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing about Lomachenko. It's the same thing about Deontay Wilder. Okay, check it out. Because their so-called support, at least online, as far as YouTube is concerned, is massive. But when it comes to going to their events, they're shallow. The people don't show up. You know what I'm saying? They got huge fans online, but those fans never translate into putting asses in seats. And it's the same thing with Deontay Wilder. If he's so huge, if he's such this massive star, if he's such this heavy hitter, if he's the dangerous man on the planet, then how come he's still not marketable? After having countless, and I mean countless of leg ups, big layups, people to put him on their shoulder and their head, trying to boost him up. You know, and that's the whole thing. But it's just one of those things that just go to show you that it's always some propaganda and some bullshit being pushed in boxing. You know what I'm saying? It's always, certain things for certain fighters and certain views and certain whatevers, But that's only for the people that care, and maybe for the casual fans that don't understand it. But as far as anybody else, I would say most boxing fans at least should know how this stuff goes. But most either don't, or they either like the way the established order is. Me, I buck against that, and that's just how it is. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Bruce Wayne, I'm out.